agenda, you might want to hold it for separate meetings or for specifically break down
For streaming.
targets of it.
Just let me know you're streaming.
Oh. So yeah, it's, you'll get it to start working on. We will really have to figure out how long that will take you guys to get to. And that's kind of almost your discussion. You just tell me when to be there, when to do it, and when you can meet, how you want to do it. But I think I would like to take the first few articles and recitals and go through them to give us an idea of how difficult that will be. In my mind, I can say it would take X amount of time, but I think what we could do, really get through it.
Another thing was, I think a few of us asked in the beginning to have like email copies of all this stuff sent to us. I haven't gotten anything.
You haven't gotten anything?
I don't know if I missed.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I haven't got no emails for a long time.
You got the wrong list.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you get affected by that virus?
Yeah.
What virus?
The porno thing.
I'll have to check my junk mail. Because I haven't seen
You haven't seen
it.
anything?
Yours was in my junk.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you
Well, I
say?
just changed the email, so for a while I had the US one, and that always wasn't friendly to the world. We switched to allnationsgs.com, so maybe it'll go through now. What I'll do is,
Do a test.
I'll do a test, and what I'll do is send you everything electronic, so we have everything electronic. So when you get that email, it'll be, we might do it, I don't know how much you can handle, but we'll send out everything that we have.
Yeah, like I'm 90% email, like this stuff, my kids will end up using this for their art books.
So that's why you gotta change your mind. All right. I'll make sure it gets there. The other thing I can do is I know Melanie gets my stuff, so I can send it to her and she can send it to you. Would that? Yeah, I'll talk to her about that just to make sure that send it. And if we get too much, just tell me. But we'll catch you up to everything that's been done today. And I'll also print off the meetings, the minutes in the work reports for the binders that you like. That way you have them with you at all times.
Sheila?
I like where this is going. I like the fact that this grant that we're hearing about and when they're gonna apply for it and stuff to keep something like this going for us. Cause either that or we have to do all this research and legwork ourselves. And, my question is when is this public hearing going to happen for our community?
But we
I think
can,
we're gonna discuss it next week.
yeah, we gotta set it, we wanna get the date set. I mean, I've got a little bit of work to get done on that end, because I'm almost, by the time we meet, I'll have that done. So I did tell Craig to provide us with some other stuff.
I think we're, look for a date, cause I don't have my notes, but.
We didn't think only because we.
The council is gonna establish that date. for
Yeah,
us.
today.
that's what.
Yeah, today.
Okay.
Said.
Today we're gonna
Whereas
do it?
you guys
Yeah.
should
Okay.
pick the date.
So we need to advertise it for 30 days.
Yes, I agree with that.
So we have to advertise it for 30 days. We post it here on the website. And we probably could get that posting out maybe Friday.
Okay.
So it would have to be 30 days, at least, minimum 30 days from Friday, so it'd be like.
You might be able to catch the paper.
What's that?
You might be able to catch that handout
Of that.
Oh, that? Maybe.
if you want,
When is
What
that
is
going?
30 days?
tomorrow.
Is that the 6th? February 6th? Oh, 6 won't be good.
7 won't be good either.
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
That's right
Oh,
on.
no.
Yeah.
No, you said it's in February. The 13th?
Isn't that on Valentine's Day?
It was last year.
Can we get a date?
Everyone looking on the calendar?
13th, volunteering on.
That's on a Saturday?
Yes, it is.
Yep.
Okay,
Here, where do you want
we'll
to
do it here for, I think it has to be 2 hours or something like that.
Yeah, I'll set the thing up.
And then the doors open for 2 hours. So again,
Yeah.
13.
Who's taking minutes?
We can, yeah, well, we can take minutes and record it. We usually do anyway, because we have to keep that information that the community provides. It determines what we have to create, so we'll do the minutes.
So that won't be a live
1
forum
to
either.
3, 1 to 4, you said.
I would do 1 to 4.
You can air it, it's totally up to how you guys want to do it, but for me, I'm just doing a presentation, if you want to put it on there, that's.
It would be, 1 to 4.
That might work, that we might reach some extra people.
So we're at the 13th? Which time do you want to get started?
1.
So if you hold that, for an example, you hold your public hearing stuff, then we should have some sort of time period for input for those that may be watching that want to comment, right?
Something could be put on our website and yours.
Right.
To
We're
reflect
holding,
this.
or we could even, I mean, because quite honestly, because that is the public hearing that's gonna inform the community, because council has to vote on, so yeah, we'll have to discuss that, but I think,
After.
yeah, that could be held there.
We have to vote for it first, then go
Right.
during a public meeting, and then vote to approve it after the meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, the vote would be after that.
Yeah.
Vote before and after.
Is it before?
Because if there are changes to be made,
To the Silvernet?
Right, all you're doing
Yeah.
is a yea or nay on
Yeah.
whether you.
It would be after the community
Yeah,
voices
whether
their
you want
concerns.
to.
Yeah.
So,
so 2 hours is enough time.
It's 1 to 4.
3 hours.
how long did that take us at the?
I think we're there probably about 2.5 hours, maybe 2.5 hours.
We'll just structure it up, so we cover the topics that the community want to hear, give the overview, get the PowerPoint presentation, that goes fairly quickly.
Well, if we set up if you do a presentation here and you set up the camera, then it would always be on YouTube, is that right? Yeah.
So that would.
So that would be good too.
Yeah, whatever time you guys.
That way, if
want.
there's any questions.
That is a good reach.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what he needs from us is the extended. Shall we have discussion?
More discussion on that? Or do you want to bring it back to the next meeting? Well, actually, we need it.
We need it, yeah, because it's already ended.
Yeah,
Sounds great, I mean,
okay.
you'll know by the end of the night, anyway, you could probably go home for now.
Hey, whatever you want to do.
That way we can have it in the executive session after and have discussion.
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be back in a few minutes.
All right, so we're done, right?
Thank you, Rick.
All right, I can,
Yes.
you and, who else needs?
I'm a half hour off.
Dan Binder.
Yes.
I had to write that
It's not my
down.
fault. I told you.
No.
You did pretty good.
I like that when you do the handout.
Yeah.
They do update us, I really don't know.
Very white question, thank you.
I will. But you don't think I did that?
Yes.
Oh, gosh.
You know what?
But you're gonna call through this. No, I can still call it Wi-Fi.
Just, could you just let your guys know? That's the
that an option?
Yeah, watch your mouth, Dad.
Is that an option?
See how he treats me, guys? He treats us. See
They call them the,
If we ever get them. Yes.
Steve Cheese looks like I'm tired.
I need to show more than just Melanie how to do that. Melanie doesn't remember from what I hear, so.
Well, you've got it now, right?
Eric is supposed to be getting a new system
No.
for it.
What we envision,
So it's supposed to be, they're gonna be his responsibility from what I understand.
what happened?
That would be nice. It's been a few months now. And I'm not a computer tech. And that computer freezes a lot. It's hard to, like the monitor and the computer aren't connecting half the time. I messed around with it today. I had to YouTube and Google how to fix it.
Google
They were on
it.
YouTube videos.
Well, yeah, the lost power out of the outlet.
And these two, it's almost like they are struggling to communicate with each other. That computer is crashing.
Here I was making fun of him. I said I could turn the power button on, but it wasn't even no power. What is this? You've had this too long, Gary.
Get some medication anyway.
Right down on that.
Waiting for it to kick in at some point. Well, that was good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Something else?
That's how I feel too.
Gosh, what I should have added, Rick, to that statement was kind of waste of space. No, it was interesting to be part of those conversations again as a community.
Has Charlie reviewed
It
that
was actually
contract with
exciting.
you? Yeah, Charlie and.
Yes, our last meeting.
Yeah.
At his place.
We went through it. Can't imagine why they have to wait.
It's good.
It needs to be done, you know, and it's gotta be done. Whether it's done now or I'm having a flop.
At least I'm not waiting for it, so I'm good.
Yeah, you're out of here.
Left
You eat that whole thing?
Yeah, yeah.
You eat all that? Did you eat that?
For 2 years, I've been running right straight with my businesses. We have like 5 and I've been coming to joint ventures that I have to create logos in LLC. 5. All this coming. Out of the stress. Tell you what.
Do you create your own marketing and media materials, or do you have separate contract for that?
Part of one of my companies has a global, we have a global marketer in Austria. It handles all our stuff all over the world. Just bought them out. But we look for local stuff because that's more of a global thing. And we are actually, one of my positions
My wife finally forced me to go see the doctor.
some of the more specific market, because we have solar, LED lighting, we have remediation, ocean services, we do energy development, all these different things. And we also have, it's called complex. and it's
You got that resolution, Charlie?
An environmental remediation.
You asked for
product.
resolution? You guys want it?
I don't know all of that, so my business is on my own, 1% of the business, and these people, do their thing. And I have to market that to the agencies up and down the East Coast throughout the US with all the tribes. So we need to get someone in marketing that can, because I can't do it, I'm at the end of my rope.
It was a pain in the ass, like,
Freaking
for
dog.
the Naomi, I had to figure out how to build web pages and do all the marketing stuff. And Nikki, I can do it in like 5 minutes now, but that was that was a pain in the ass.
We do that, and we actually do it for other companies, because for us, we have the ability to do that and do it quickly.
Sure, what positions are those?
I don't like it, I hate it, store it because you won't like this, that looks like. But my team that works for me, that's what they do. Plus, we also have another team that actually holds our website, because what we develop, we have to develop for Indian people in tribes and the federal government and US standards, is we got that down pat. So when you take that to, Denmark, Austria,
Well, that's the whole deal.
Belgium, Russia, even, China, those places, they don't understand it. So we actually have them take that, convert it.
Yeah, that's only you're going into like Chinese market. Chinese market.
I don't know if you ever dealt with that. I skipped it.
I have
I have a guy that
Charlie just left.
we both do this. They talk and I agree. I talk, they agree, and then we both go. What's he talking about? That's good. We have an interpreter because we get,
Thank you.
It's exciting.
So do you want to read the fancy website?
We actually.
That's gonna cost, do you have money?
We actually talked about, how do we make it, make it.
Yeah.
I can show you. I redid the entire site. But
So we did our web page, we talked about, we'll create the data because it is so, it's bizarre to use. It's not.
no, it is, and there's a lot of programs that you can use online that makes it a lot more simple than that outdated one. Like I was showing them how to use like Canva and stuff like that, web builders. And I mean, I didn't know here my education was busy web building stuff and figured out that we needed to push technology. And now I built 3 different websites with like
I was around, we were around, and I was on display down to the colors, what I displayed, text, everything, pictures, art. Knowing in the evening time they like visual stuff. You can get someone look on a website, if it looks too voyeurish, just plain, people skip over that. But if it gets their senses, and they'll look at those things. So,
that's what I
so, yeah, so we designed it that way, we took our time, we did our thing, and then I sent that all to our international guys and said, okay, now build me a mock website to do business bigger.
Yeah.
And basically they did. And what made ours this complicated is we grew so fast that just I don't have someone to keep up with the changes. So like an example, today we just did a press release of our new company that we just formed. And I didn't even get a chance to include it here. And that press release went out, but I don't even know it's in my newsletter, I don't think it's on the website yet. And we have to actually make a whole new. In other words, we need to come in, we get the native feel and all those things, but when you want to know about wind energy over there, when you know LED there, remediation, ocean services. What's crazy is what we offer is worldwide. Like let's say right now in Japan, there's an oil spill. And now,
So yeah, I had to
the West Coast, a team of divers, we have the vessels, we have everything, and it goes. And again, it comes down to just our logos on it, we own the company, they go over it, because they're using our name. There are others and native companies, what better group to do environmental protection or remediation in native tribes. But the intention, and that's part of our agreement, is that we're going to use it, but I don't want to, I can't wait to do that here, just see who's interested. But solicit the community and say, how many people want to become divers, run ROVs, do subsea cabling, archaeology, underwater.
Call for any cheese.
All that stuff is what we can offer in China, and that's what we want to do, so.
Do you want to learn how to,
Yeah.
like actually learn how to degree? I have one in archaeology.
I work with,
Got my minor in forensic anthropology.
I work for no one, I work with I work with them on that.
I can read, for those
Okay.
I can read, like, after that.
But they're looking, we discovered there on the compoundable shop why we're doing this.
So it's like, stop what you stop.
Can you feel it? It's like, no!
Yeah, I'm like,
Okay.
we,
Plane.
we found a site.
You said you were to fill
that
out.
had some just picked up in a Starbucks.
Okay, I'd like to bring this meeting back to order. So I think before Brett, we decided that we wanted to do a discussion before we made a decision on the contract, right?
Yeah, you want to
My
discuss
job
it,
is to
you can
fight
discuss
with
it.
feds and say we are not.
So should we just move that to the end? Okay.
We had those meetings, and we're not gonna allow you to do that, so that's what my job is.
That's why you need
Well,
Yeah, it was emailed to us.
Well, what's cool is we did sanitary testing, and that's exactly it, it was all
Okay,
about.
so we'll do ES,
That was
contract, extension, after general discussion? Okay. Okay, so next up, Emerald Ash Borer resolutions. No?
You should have them. I think you guys just wanted a different change or write up to it, a different verbiage.
Okay, so Ms. Dora has them. Okay.
Yeah, yes.
There's like a big,
It's
I did like
debatable.
60 pages.
Why
Just
do
what
you
you feel is
Please come.
right.
Yeah.
Jordan, is that still going or is it suspended?
No, it's still going.
Okay, the resolutions that we have are not on the proper format. The signature lines for
Okay.
council.
I didn't do one, so.
Okay.
Melanie is the one that does the resolution.
Okay, so they weren't done correctly. I mean, yeah, it'll have to be changed.
I was gonna ask if we could, put this off and, maybe email it to us.
Okay.
Yeah, that way we can maybe real fast.
Yeah.
We'll review it.
I make a motion to table the Emerald Ash Borer resolution until the next meeting.
Okay, we, motion on the floor, second by Sheila, all in favor? Abstentions? Okay, motion carried.
No. There wasn't a deadline on that, was there?
No, because they were still waiting for BIA to get back to them. We just told them to move forward, we're getting it that way. When they did get back, that would already be in line and they could move forward. So this is tabled until 16. Events Committee.
That's last month's.
Oh, okay.
Sixth. Today is the sixth, so you're looking or actually, next council meeting is in. Yes, it is.
2016.
It'll give me a few months until I stop writing 5.
If you guys want, I have all my purchase orders and their receipts here, these are my copies, but they want
No, as long as you have like a summary of the
It's
amount.
on our page,
Yeah,
my three.
I think that's all.
Figured rather than sort of haphazardly poking at the party, we can sort of follow through, step by step, what things went well and, what changes were made and.
So all you have is just the Christmas party, you don't have the money on the budget yet?
I do believe that this was, if you remember, the Christmas party.
Christmas 2015.
No, I know, I see that, I was just asking a question, because I know we were waiting for that for a while as well.
That was not my understanding.
No, I understand that, I'm just asking a question. Because I know we were still waiting on finalization. No, that's all.
We can, just to talk about Miami for a moment, before we even talk about the Christmas party. We had some struggle getting the Christmas party funded because our CFO is saying that we had two budgets in the hole from Miami. She was saying that there were about $30,000 in debt. That didn't make sense, especially since in the budget it looked like we had $3,500 left over from Miami. And we're gonna use that for Christmas party. And in addition to the $3,500, we hadn't used $1,000 from housing or $850 from meals and assets. And so I went down to Coca-Cola, and it turns out that there are 3 ACPY codes that people are using. One was for Barefaced, and the other was for Marioni. And we were plugging all of the cultural and community events into the Marioni budget. But no money actually sits there. There is no budget there. Those 2 ACPY codes for Marioni and Barefaced, they start at 0. The budget comes from Simon's budget, which is in a completely different ACPY. So of course those look like they're in the negative. And then the money that we got from the foundation didn't go to pay off the Miami debt. They got sent into the GOA and lost. So she has to do some moving around. And after she and I talked about it and reconciled it, there was $3,500 left over, and there's $2,500 left over once we also pay off the Barefaced, which that budget was $1,000 in the hole. So to alleviate a lot of the confusion, the ACPY codes have been recoded so that one is strictly for community events and the other will be for cultural activities. And she now knows that those don't have budgets in them. It comes from Simon's budget and a different ACPY. It was very confusing, and some of that confusion came from having a new CFO, and our previous CFO didn't really debrief Simon on that as well as maybe she could have, but it's been clarified. And so there is money left over for kick us off for Miami next year. And yeah, the confusion has been
Thanks.
I'm sure you had a question about that. Simple AG.
How much activity do you get out of your budget?
How much activity?
I mean, for these
Well, there was 10,000 set aside for the Maui Omi and 2,500 set aside for 500 for five events. And so, like she said, basically what Paula said was the 10,000 covered the singers and the dancers, whatever. She said after that, what is going on? I said, well, it can't be. We budgeted out and this is what it was. And so that's when we started digging deeper and we started figuring things out that it didn't go in the right accounts, basically, comes down to.
Is there a way that we could increase your annual budget to the point where you could be supporting these other activities more than, trying to get money from asset and realty and housing and all these other things?
Yeah.
Is that a possibility to try to increase your annual budget?
Well, yeah, I mean, like, it should be included, but also we came up with an alternative solution to the matter, or, no, not yet?
Ish.
Ish.
We can talk about that. Ish.
All right, maybe I'll jump into that then.
Yeah, I'm looking at your Christmas. Now, we approved 45 for you, and said you was 0.
So when Paul was talking to me about how to do these things, that's an adjustment. We spent 34 of the 4,500, but she's moving the Redskin, the foundation money to replace that. So ultimately, nothing was spent out of that. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So what she was saying is that good accounting, you you go back, you readjust those things so that when we're looking to do this next year, we know that we shouldn't have to use that money and we know exactly what we spent where. But we did spend
She should have
$3,400.
allowed us to see what you would spend, and then made the adjustment.
I thought I put it on here, that I don't have Microsoft Word yet, it's being purchased for me. So this is just Google Docs, as good as I was gonna get, but, these are all here. I spent $3,434 out of that cash, and I have every receipt for that right here, and we spent $3,450 total on toys and gift cards for children. We had estimated 6,000. That was about $15 per child, but we went down to Bangor. Charlie drove me down to Bangor with Andrea, and I was able to get really quality gifts a lot cheaper than we anticipated getting them. So there were some transportation costs involved with that, but ultimately ended up saving us a lot more money. Ideally, we shouldn't have to buy gifts, we can get them donated, but making the cultural director also responsible for Christmas, those Maui Omi and Christmas party are both events that need to be planned for all year to get those donations. So we'll get to that, and I have some suggestions for that. But yeah, it's all here. If you have any questions at the end about the budget, feel free to ask me and where every dollar went. And if you have any questions, the commission can just provide them as well.
Yeah, but with that 4,500, that should have been returned back to the tank fund anyway, right?
Right, and it
I mean,
is,
that's
that's
for
why
sure.
it's saying it's
Yeah.
zero. Okay, so before we get too far, I had a question. So will it be possible for council to get updated on the Maui Omi expenses?
Yes, if you guys want a budget, Sam and I can build one by like what you want to go to the next meeting.
Okay. Okay, that's fine.
We were on track by today. I was gonna have, we were gonna have this night, but this was just the Christmas party and I didn't wanna.
Right.
But now we're in trouble, so.
No.
You're fine. You guys weren't aware, so, but now you are. Because we just want to be able to, see what we spent and I just have a timetable since it's such a big event and it has to be throughout the year. You know, maybe do like a 6-month review and see where we are as far as getting donations regarding that budget that way.
I can pass this around if you guys wanna just take a peek at it, but this is ultimately what was spent on Maui Omi, and it's broken down. And this is actually a sheet that Paula printed out for me and showed me that, basically why I should put 0 in here for what it's like working out. And it's because it looks like we drew cash out for subcontractors and consultants at $15,700. And it looks like our income was almost 5, when the reality is we didn't have drummers show up. We didn't spend all that cash, so instead this should have reflected how much we actually spent rather than how much income. So that's why this back page is, you know, might need some clarification because it has to reflect ultimately what happened. Does that make sense?
No.
No, I didn't mean to put you on the spot when I asked you the question. It's just that, you know, we've been waiting for the Maui Omi budget, and then all of a sudden, just the way I think, don't take it the wrong way.
I harken back to the fact that the cultural director's been responsible for, you know, August to December, we were based in every month with, community parties. And it's impossible to plan for Maui Omi if he's responsible for all those parties. So that's something that I wanted to talk about and get to, in here, that, Simon is our cultural director. And to make him responsible for those other parties, is it doing temp service or like our community or us, individuals? Because we had 2 weeks of time for Christmas. I think it's PTSD.
Right.
I'd love to hear this report.
Well, you're on a roll, girl.
How do you think it went? How did it go?
Which one you did, I don't know.
How
whether
was
I
Santa?
can read this.
I don't know, for the overall Christmas party, I enjoyed it. I mean, like, it was fun, but just a Santa Claus, you know.
Last minute Santa Claus too.
I will say that we had more involvement from administration, having Sterling be involved in this event in particular, like staying on top of asking for the budget from us and things like that. We were able to get a lot more participation and volunteerism from staff and from the community. I don't know if it's just because he's the TA, maybe nobody likes us, but there was a lot more help. Like, there was so much more help for the Christmas party at the event. So all the activities that I planned and all the things that I wanted to see happen, we had more people there doing it, and that was really nice.
Are you gonna actually read this to us, or is this just something that?
Do you want me to read it?
No, I'm just,
I'll say it.
I didn't know if you guys were gonna go over it, or.
Can I give you guys a few minutes to read it, and then we'll just do some talking points?
Sure. Did you guys email this to us?
Do you want an e-copy?
Well, yeah, that's usually where I'm at most of the time.
Yeah, I want to touch on Derek's note there. Is usually, if we get in advance, we have a chance to read it, so that kind of makes the discussion a little easier.
Okay.
You know, just like if you wanted program updates or something, or you're looking for a grant approval, you'd like to have it in advance. So that way, well, in that case, it'd be like, if you show up last minute, well, this grant's gonna go up tomorrow, I need your signature today, and it's, you don't know nothing about it.
We weren't gonna have this, I just did it because I thought it would make it easier than.
No, don't worry, it's all good, it's all good. But that way, we don't look like we're rushing to sign off on something when we don't fully understand, so that's why when you ask for something like that, we always ask for it in advance, so we look at it, go over it, give us an idea ahead of time, that's all. I think that's why we ask. That's all it is. Don't take it the wrong way, it's all good. Don't get defensive. We explain that, well, I know I do explain to every director when we have it, because a lot of it's like, It's about getting into that routine.
I guess the only question I had is the budget part, is, so you have almost, what, $9,000, over 9,000, that could be set aside for the Maui only already?
No, we have, about 2,600 for now. The rest is designated for, the intention of the foundation giving us money is for, community events. Like Christmas. So essentially we have $6,000 for Christmas next year, and we have 2,600
This is
for
specific, the wording specifically states that that is used for.
That was the request that, Melanie threw out, was for our Christmas party specifically.
To me, that would seem like a good jump start on the Maui only.
But that would also leave us with nothing for Christmas.
Right.
Yeah, I think if we worded it for Christmas, and that's what we need to stay. It's Rob and Peter to pay for all the work, we've got some trouble in the past. I think if we have that funds set aside from them for that, keep it right where it is, let's look at getting Maui only monies elsewhere.
Right.
And that's a, okay.
And it is separate. He already has a budget for Maui only. That's separate from the Christmas. Keep it separate.
Well, the problem is that none of it's separate because it's sitting in the GOA.
And I know that, I read that in the report.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that. Yes, it should be separate, it should have its own account for that events for the community. So that it's not being touched for Peter and Paul to utilize it. It should be separate. Right?
I guess it's jumping the gun, but I talked to Charlie Sterling and the CFO about setting up a separate bank account. Where did Sterling go? And essentially what we had discussed doing was setting up a bank account that's just, for like donations that are coming in. You know, governors donating to us or somebody donating to us. That money's protected and can't get eaten up by if another director runs over on their budget, which is what happens in the GOA. But the CFO talked to Sterling about it, and they decided that they think that that's kind of a hassle, and they want to create a different ACPY for it, and someone just has to keep track of that budget, and someone has to be responsible for that budget. But again, that money's not protected doing it that way.
Right.
It's in the GOA.
Right. So in other words, if all the money runs out from the GOA, that's including our events. Money.
And that's the only money that we actually have for events. There's no budget per se for that. There's $500 for Christmas, $500 for Halloween, and that's about it. Besides the cultural activities.
What about the unrestricted funds?
Well, that's what I'm thinking about. Now, but again, you have to have like somebody to monitor that. Because I guarantee you right now, somebody will know what that's a good call.
Well, that
Zero that out.
right, that money's not supposed to be touched without our approval.
But not on the unrestricted.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
So if they know they have the $65,065, they put it into the unrestricted funds. We know it's there, they know it's there, we're not gonna touch it.
Yeah.
Did you hear, sir, they're talking about how to protect the excess money rather than letting it sit in GOA. And they're suggesting putting it in unrestricted funds.
Right, the unrestricted funds with the confirm money, maybe tuck it in there.
Yeah, it does require your guys'
Right.
council's
So
authority
no
to
one
touch
will
it.
be able to touch it.
And our treasurer, he's pretty up to date with what's in there.
And I don't think it's intentional, like, again, I think it's the coding was kind of messed up, and we're still experiencing a lot of those issues with the numbers. And I don't think it was intentional, for anything that's going on, I guess, with, money moving around or whatnot. But it is a good solution, that way you guys are aware of where that money goes, you're updated. It's not a bad idea.
We are aware that it can go in the unrestricted fund, but at the same time, we gotta make sure that we give, I don't know how to say it, that we give control or we give primary to the events committee. So that we can't later on, council say, well, we wanna spend it on this and this and this, you know what I mean? Even though we don't do that, I'm just saying, playing devil's advocate, put something in place.
So my solution that we talked about, we basically want to do this. We want to have two separate committees, one that's dedicated to Maui and one that's dedicated to the other, like community, like Photo Recognition Day and Christmas and all those things. But we want to have someone who offers checks and balances over all of that. And we talked to Sterling about, his signature being the final one, we bring him the budget. And he doesn't have to do his work, he just has to oversee what we're doing. And again, he has the clout that we don't. He can rely on people, or if we're struggling, then we have someone to sort of talk about that with. But it's checks and balances, making sure that we're seeing, that we're doing our budgets, staying on track, doing things throughout the year. And then he'd be the only person that would have access to, like there's 3 ACPY codes that all are, attached to the cultural department's budget, and anybody's been able to just go do whatever they want to those, and Simon's not known, and that's not acceptable. So if we had, a PTA, for example, be that person, then he could designate, well, Whitney's gonna be the treasurer, she's gonna make the budget, if you track that stuff, then I'll sign off on it. But it just seems like that's a better way to do checks and balances.
So, with the events committee, why don't you have officers, like a treasurer for the events committee that handles that?
That's what I wrote in here. It's just, we started off at the beginning with like a bunch of people, and by the end it drops off, and we're in. But hopefully this year, maybe with someone helping us, we can get, I really like to see an elder. We just started youth council, I'd like to see somebody on youth council. We have to bring the meeting to them, then we'll do that, so that everybody's voices in the community.
That's something that we've said at this table in the past few months, that at the beginning of this year, we've got to look at this event committee, how is it going to be effective? For example, can the Halloween party be designated to the youth department? Can that become part of their program, their budget, their staff? So that have yet to have that meeting, but we've got to figure out what this event committee is about, what we're going to be most effective.
It was crazy doing this right after Ramadan.
So I do agree that we've talked about it before, and I think maybe we sit down and have a meeting, get something in place on what would you like to see. Because, and the reason I say that is because I do have a lot of confidence in you guys, because we pulled some pretty good numbers out of the hat, I think, where we haven't had any money, and we've had just a little bit of time, and you guys have pulled it off. So why don't you throw something together on how you think this should be? We know what we're going to do with the money. We've got an idea, and let's grow off that. Okay, so you guys can be a major input on how you want to see this laid out, how you want to see this take place, because you're going to be running, and if you're doing a good job right now when everything's so disorganized, I can't imagine.
That's what I'm saying, we can do it better.
We can be better.
That's what we could do if it was organized better, we have more time.
But right now, get something so that we can see what that looks like, and then when we do have that meeting, we'll all have something to add or take away or whatever. What? You have something?
No, I was gonna, like at the end of May, have these key functions already planned. There's no more room for new ideas, or what about this, what about that? And so at that point, the programs, whether it's cultural or youth or whoever's going to be in charge of these functions, all they gotta do is run. Right? They don't have to worry, well, we're gonna do this, who's doing that, it's all that.
Naomi was hectic because, we got rid of the CFO and the TA.
You're right, you're right.
Many things happened.
And we'll take a lot of
The cultural
responsibility for
director
that.
became the TA, and this was his and I first, planning for Naomi, so this year, it shouldn't take us more than a few hours to build a budget, because we know.
Right.
We've been through it.
Right.
And I have every PO saying that I have the budget we had last year, it should be like there.
And then Sterling.
Okay.
I don't know, I think we're doing change.
Well, I didn't want to leave it up. I was getting tired.
I have a conversation around council to close the table, and then we'll have Sterling.
I just want to comment on the Christmas party. It was an awesome Christmas party. Beautiful.
Thank you.
One thing, we lost focus. Our focus, and I remember this council had said it, was the children. And we had children at that Christmas party that didn't have gifts. Do you know what I'm saying? Whether they didn't call in or whatever it may be, we lost focus. We should have been able to catch those things.
Every
Door
child
prizes.
has a party to get.
Right, but their name wasn't called, I guess that's what she's saying, like at the end,
They
they had
weren't.
to get.
Their names were not on presents.
Yeah, but I think a lot of that confusion too, Sheila, happened is because parents
Didn't register.
didn't call in.
And I understand that. But then again, we need to make sure to go through these lists.
Yeah, well, it certainly is a learning curve for us, and we'll certainly note it for next year to make sure that we're gonna be on that. I mean, that's the way we grow, is when we learn from our mistakes, so.
Okay, I just want to continue finishing if I can. The budget. Huge budget for the Christmas party. A lot of money was spent. It was an awesome one. But I think we can cut back on some of the stuff that happened, especially door prizes. I talked to Sarah. I liked some of her ideas that she had by keeping the money in the trials. Awesome throughout the year. You have that money set for that. You know when you're gonna have your Christmas party. Start organizing it. When I talked to you the other day, I thought that was awesome.
There's always, something that Sarah and I talk about, like the decorations. The bulk of the money that we spent on decorations were spent within the community. And even the Maliomi, I spent, a large portion of our food budget on our farm. And that I had planned that 3 months in advance until the farm what we needed and the farm had to grow it. And so that's always topmost in our mind is to put as much money as we can back into our community. Even if that's, having maybe some community members next year making gifts. There are things that we can do to help them, and we had 2 weeks to do this. We shouldn't have had to pay for any gifts, and I understand that. We shouldn't have had to buy anything. We should have been able to work throughout the year to get it donated. But you also have someone whose focus is divided because his other responsibility is Maliomi. And if we separate those things out, we can do a much better job next year.
Well, this is what you're gonna do because Fred suggested that, and then get together and try to put it here and there, and then you wouldn't have all this problem. I sat in on one of your meetings with just you two, because the meeting was earlier on that morning, and Simon got the wrong email address for me, so I wasn't notified that it was earlier, because I wanted to attend it, to see what was going on. And I'll tell you what, there was a lot of hectic things going on. And I understand why, because you only had that short period of time to get all this done.
Yes.
I understand all that. And that's why we're gonna move forward and do like what Fred said, and maybe we wouldn't have to spend as much money, like you said, throughout the year, start collecting these things.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to, I'm not disagreeing that the focus should be on our children, but, when you look at our medicine wheel and what it takes to be a well community, everybody's part of the
And I'm not saying that they're not, that wasn't what I was getting at. But
It did make it
Christmas,
hectic, we had too many door prizes.
Christmas is
It made it
about
kind of
children.
crazy. We didn't have a lot of space, we had a lot of people there this year. Like, that was something we hadn't anticipated. I did a big marketing push, I did newsletters and Facebook and social media and all kinds of stuff, and we ended up with a pile of people. And,
it was very nice to see that, it was. And I would like to be informed of your next meeting, because I would like to attend if I can.
we would love to see.
Not the day
that one
before,
person.
obviously, or 2 days before, but maybe a week in advance if you guys can agree on a day. And hopefully the time doesn't get changed and, but I would like to attend.
Well, the time wasn't changed, it was, that you,
Right.
sorry.
So,
Sorry, Sterling had his hand up in the back.
You forgot.
With regards, when you guys are discussing about putting the funds into the the events committee's funds into the unrestricted, I think you should really take into consideration of doing a budget for that unrestricted fund.
we were thinking
That way you
of having
know
a treasurer.
what it's going to be used for, right?
But, as the governor over all of the events, you can designate a treasurer for the Maliomi and for the events committee, governor.
Whichever way council wants to put those budgets.
Yeah, you are right, Sterling, and we talked a little bit about that, because if we don't do something similar to those lines, we're gonna have possibly the same problems as it being in the GOA account.
Right.
It's gonna be utilized, something's gonna pop up somewhere. We need to have that put in there, and if your committee has officers, and you have somewhat of a budget, so that you know what your sliver is in there and how you're gonna break that up, then that can be council, make it so it's untouchable.
So do you want
Lots.
a treasurer separate from council's treasurer that keeps track of the money that we?
I think that would be a great idea.
And they would work as a collaborative
Right.
team to he'll maintain the numbers as far as our side, and make sure that it's not getting, yours is not getting touched. And that way your treasurer knows what you guys put in there. So there can't be any miscommunication, you know? And I think designating one person to deal with our treasurer I think that would be good for you guys. That'd be one less thing that the event committee as a whole has to worry about. As long as the money's there.
It's been stressful because I thought we lost what excess I knew that we had, and it's much more relief, Paula realizing and everybody realizing why the money's
Where it
there, so she
went.
knows now,
Right.
yes, and she'll fix it, but for a while, it just looked like we had just gone willy-nilly with the money. So, it's fixed, we, have, you know, money left over for Christmas next year, but hopefully we barely even have to touch that. Hopefully that just supplements what we're for doing donations and solicitations throughout the year. There needs to be less door prizes, that made it hectic, there was little space, that was crazy. But having a few would be nice, and it's as simple as, you know, Walmart, within 2 weeks you have to go and make a request, but I could go to Walmart and be like, can you donate so much for Christmas, and we get a couple cards, things like that, like, or donating things that people in the community need. Instead of buying a laundry basket, buy one from someone in the community and make a little care basket for people. That's what we want to do this coming year. And donations, it's great when we get free gifts. That's awesome. The other side of that though is that they come with a big discrepancy of some are dollar store things and some are expensive, and it will take all year to gather up what we need so that the kids can get the gifts that they need. But I don't see why we can't get 200 toys within the next year.
Right.
And the gala that I'm running for the Boys and Girls Club, I talked the board of directors into letting me reduce the admission if people are coming with gifts. So that's one toy drive that I already have planned. And then doing toy drives here, doing toy drives within the community, we should be able to somehow get 200 gifts by then, because that's about what we did this year was 200.
Right, okay.
This year, we had a lot less children getting, you know, there was an 11-year-old boy last year that got like a gift for a 3-year-old girl. That didn't happen this year. There was a lot less of that this year.
And not as bad,
But it did.
yes. There was some exchange
But
at the end.
from where they were done here and to where the staff wraps them, there is something magical and crazy and voodoo magic that happens. I don't know what it is, but it's fine when it's here. So we have ideas on how to fix those things and streamline it for next year. There were improvements this year. We hope to improve again next year.
It was a big improvement. I think also having, when you guys gave the option for the parents to come in and choose the toys, that alone, I think, alleviated a lot of those toys not being appropriate for the age group.
Yeah.
So that's something I liked this year.
We also
get
got,
a little more on that.
Right.
A lot of people are saying they didn't know about it.
it went on the newsletter, Facebook, word of mouth. We can definitely push it out sooner, and it should be.
Right, I think if it's done sooner, it would be more better. Everything was just so last minute. You guys had to pull a lot out within this much time, so.
Well, I think we could start right at Halloween party. Right there, and appropriate those 2 months, and there should be more than enough time for parents to get ahead and to get them signed up.
Okay.
And so that way we should have our 200
Toys by then.
and by then.
Yeah, I'd say if the turkey certificates, when we hand out turkey certificates,
Take the numbers that
start our kid registry at when you're picking up your ticket. Oh, look at you signed up for Christmas as well.
That is a perfect idea.
If we still need to.
Well, we plan on it.
Those turkey certificates also, we need to take a look at that, because there was an individual, 2 families, 2 people from the family working, and they're probably bringing in more than $100,000 a year between the 2 of them. And they was concerned about that $15 gift card.
But I see what you're saying, there's definitely families that could use things like that more. And I mean, the events committee doesn't have anything to do with the turkey certificates, but it would be a lot of work for somebody to have to keep track of, like, the income of every household and.
Right,
It's not income based.
And what I was thinking was, we should just let people know that we have gift cards for turkey or whatever it's gonna be, but they need to request. Like, if I don't need a turkey or a gift card for that holiday, then I shouldn't request it. But if I do need something, I should, put a request in. Something like that, because there's people out there, my daughter goes, oh, she don't need a $15 gift card.
No,
There's a lot of people in the tribe that make good money.
and again, I think it's if we plan it now, like they've listed, we had a list for the Christmas party. After a while, some people are getting involved, list and this, and then now we have a new list. So no, I think, again, if we can nail this stuff down at the beginning of these next 3-4 months, it's done,
Yeah. Something else that was really, really great about the Christmas party, and I don't know if I thanked you, Norm or Sheila, for helping out, but we got a lot of positive feedback that we had council members there, not only present, Jen, you were there, but, Charlie was really visible at the party, and you were at registration. You picked up the slack because our photographer went MIA, and that meant a lot to our community, and that meant a lot to us. So having you guys there, you are our community leaders, and it means a lot to the community to see you there. And it was great, and we really appreciated having you there. You were invaluable. Mom loved having you.
Oh, yes, you did. Okay. Are there any other questions or things that we want them to answer? Are there any things that you all want to make sure that council knows before we move on?
I like Fred's recommendation that they get together and plan on a strategy, and if they need more help, then it's Sheila or somebody else that's, willing to come in and sit with them. Put together a plan and some kind of a budget. You must have some idea what you spent in each activity. If you remember, was that enough? If not, try to get a little bit more. If it was sufficient, use that number
Simon's
again.
gonna have to fight for his budget from the 638, that's the thing. And he has the opportunity to do that, but we don't know if he'll get more funding for any of the activities, but hopefully, if we delegate and spread things out, we can, go out in the community and ask for more help for each activity individually.
Yeah, just touch base with Richard. Last year, we did ask that Maui budget be increased, cultural part, but it didn't happen. You had no say in your budget last year. You were basically handed, here's your budget, right? Now that's, my understanding is the directors should be working on their budgets, proposed budgets, and put down what you need. You may not get it all, but have it all for you, because then when you do that, then it's gonna go to finance, and then they're gonna have to jockey around and come up with a solution that's gonna be fair all around. But remember, what's next year?
Our big anniversary.
25th is right. So what's gonna happen is, again, but I'm just saying, is go bigger, go bigger. I've been hearing that a lot, no matter what we do. Maui Omi, Christmas party, go bigger, go bigger. And I know budget-wise, we can crack down on some of the spending and try to find cuts in ways, but still have a great time, you know what I mean? As you guys know, the Maui Omi put out a lot of money too as well. And we've done Maui Omis for a lot less. They still had a great turnout. And that's, it's, and the only reason I brought this up, and I brought it up at one of the council meetings, because I talked to other city officials and surrounding communities. We talked about Christmas parties and stuff like that, and I have to be careful what I say, because our budgets on spending on the Christmas Power Maui Omi budget, they fringe on that, it's like, that's my salary for the year. Can you guys just blow that on one event, you know what I mean? But you gotta realize the outside community looks at it as we get federally funded for a lot of our stuff. So they're like, we're taxpayers, that's our, you know what I mean? We pay into that. But I'm just saying, we're looking for outside community support and help no matter what we do. But we could be defending them in ways too. I'm not trying to say it in a bad way, you know what I mean? It's just that we need to be just a little cautious on some of our spending.
When someone that is on welfare is walking around with an iPhone and someone else says, well, if you're so broken you need welfare, why am I helping you get an iPhone? The iPhone could be 10 years old, you don't know the story, you know?
Right. People's opinions can vary.
Exactly. And it's a myth. Non-natives believe, that we just get all this free money, but ultimately, the money that we get is the same money that their municipalities get. There's no difference. And their community, that's how they hold their events, is by community outreach and donations from local people. So just reiterate that, but at the same token, that shouldn't prevent them from soliciting, involvement. That's just my opinion.
No, I know what you're getting at, but the same concept is still, it's like, that's what I said, it's about our budget, going bigger, spending more. If we start doing the cutbacks, like you're saying, get more people involved, finding other means, ways of doing it, that will cut down the budget.
We had more help, to be honest. I had 5 times more people helping me at the Christmas party than Simon and I were able to get for the Maui. We didn't sleep the entire time. It is hard to get people. I mean, a lot of people that do and are willing to help us with events are the drummers, and that's where, that's the weekend that they get to make their money. And so it's difficult, but we have a whole year this time, up until August, to try to get more help. And, having you guys behind us and having a TA who actually cares and has been helping us, I think that's going to make this a lot easier and a lot more successful. But we did what we could with what we had. And, the Christmas party, if you take away what we spent on gifts, like, the decorations and stuff, I barely spent anything because we were out there making them ourselves. Right. So I am thrifty, I do try.
Yes, after it's been a little bit. Our events are always going to get bigger or growing. We're going to get bigger. And an idea we're toying with, I guess for an example, around our Halloween party. That was advertised over the air. We had gotten more kids living in the outside community. I think that this is an excellent opportunity to reach out to the Presque Isle, Caribou area, and hey, let us be the place to have Halloween. It's pretty building.
Right.
Christmas, no, we can't afford the first 10 Christmas presents. Halloween, yes. Who does it? And no, Nordic Secretary said?
Yes.
They didn't have their Halloween party this year because they didn't have volunteers. So we
collaborating.
Yes.
But they did have their spooky walk, didn't they?
I seen a news blip where they had no Halloween because they didn't have.
Woodland did.
Did they?
They had that walk and they got 10 times more people because the other borough had to book for it.
I just want to say this quick. When Simon and I went business to business, like we went to Tamik and we were asking for help for the Maui, they were like, we are so glad to see you guys. Like we want to work with you, we want to do things with you, and we don't always have the best impression in the community. And this past year's Maui gave us an opportunity to get out there on TV. We had WAGM coming because Benton and the Boys and Girls Club has a really good relationship with them. So we were able to piggyback on that, get on TV, get on the radio, and it's letting organizations around here know that we exist and we need help. Like the Rotary, they donate a lot of their time and resources to outside communities, but we're right here and we need help. And so I sit on the Rotary Club now, and all I ever hear is you guys have to actually take part in things in the city. We want to see you there. We've been doing Thursdays on Sweden. That was because I reached out to the Chamber of Commerce in Caribou and they're like, come show up to this.
We're like, that's been really good for us. So, you know, aside from just the events committee's been working, and Tom and I, we've been doing a big push to get out in the community so that they show up, they help us, we're part of the community, and it's not us against them.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
They have to drop the money.
Yeah. Sometime this month, that's what I heard a while ago.
Yeah, well, if you'd like to, or like, preliminary matter.
It's good when you guys will set a date, get us together.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Alrighty, so, events committee amendments for transfer policy.
Thank you.
Staff performance report.
Right?
Good job, folks.
Okay, so we'll take a quick break and then we'll reconvene and move to see Craig.
All right, thank you.
Next week. I'll go ahead and
I'm gonna try.
I'll take it for
The other one will have to go on executive session.
You sound like my son. You know, my son told me today, you know what I don't want to get chat. Every time we go to the grocery store, you see somebody, you chat.
Oh, that, no, I didn't.
Julius, I'm an elected official, if I see a tribal member, I can't say, the son doesn't want me to talk to you. I can keep going. Just chat.
Mr. Sanborn. Yes, Kaya.
Not that I'm soft, but I think the budgets and the.
Christmas Day, Kaya, down the river.
Yeah.
I thought about it too, man.
He didn't think about me though.
That's where I'm strong with the details and shit, so you give me the ideas and I'll do that.
The water high.
The water was moving fast.
Right.
It was moving quick. Yeah, here's what you get.
Now be straight. It's wide open today. And the water's high, and it's wide open. I see no white straw now.
Supposed to, before we have to rain, I guess.
Might be something that rivers are open all spring and winter.
Yes, it would.
Yeah.
I could handle that.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, paddle every day.
Sweetie, kayak.
Life can be grand. Paddle every day. You went home sick.
No, I hadn't had an audience with him in a while, so I can join my. No, actually, my report is fairly short this month.
Sarah, you gotta stop me when that happens. My mouth just runs off. Just like, that was like a, something. Like
Throw
a
my
signal.
hands up and it's like.
That's passion.
Huh?
That's passion.
That's why, no, my passion was kept Sarah
Tried
here.
an auction, anything?
Sarah's gonna leave us.
No.
Consider?
And I think what we've missed these past year or two is someone guiding. Having a good rudder for our ship. Right now, we're going all over the place because there's no one saying, I'm in charge, or this is who is in charge. That hence why we want to get together and, but yes, because they used to do silent auctions here in the office for the food bank raising. I'm even thinking, anytime we do a function at the health fair, have a donation box, donate a toy.
Look at the potential of a group wants to come in and rent the Spruce Haven for their bingos.
Yeah.
Twice a week, I think Sundays and Tuesdays, something like that. And with the reduced rent, normally it's $200 each night.
Okay.
But with the reduced rent, they're willing to leave their equipment there and let us utilize it when we need it. So we can have
Nervous.
bingos, once a month, that would, for the community. That could raise money.
That makes me nervous, because we can't even keep track of our own toys.
Right. That's
Spruce
gonna
Haven
be-
alone needs, that's an whole other meeting
Do you
right
have
there.
a place to put toys if somebody was to bring in
Uh-huh.
a toy and monster?
Well,
I hate like how to bring in a toy a month and not have anything at Christmas time that I brought in.
Well, the other thing too that you're forgetting is that the staff put away $1 a week out of their check, but they want that security to know that their money's protected. That was the issue that I found when I spoke with a lot of them. There weren't that many in it this year, but if I promote it more this year and ensure that their funds are gonna be protected and it's gonna go for its intended purpose. So
A lot more of us would jump on, but like in our office.
Right here, here's a star.
Hi, it's begun. I'm gonna take that
First
and frame
donation.
my
Richard
first one.
celebrating.
Like our
Eagle eye.
they said our basement, we've got the duplex unit where Julie and I are. One side is just full of junk crap, stuff from the cigarette shop is still in our basement. The other side of the basement is practically empty. It's safe, but it's gotta have the basement-ness smell to it.
Oh, yeah, you don't want that.
So, we've talked about other different stuff, the events committee, the culture committee needs to have their own storage.
Faucet here.
I tried to get those 2 things over here, and I talked to Tony. Tony said he can fix them up. The 2 buildings over here in the lot next door to us.
Those are ours?
No, they're APAC, they're ACAPs.
Okay, yeah.
So I met with him, and I requested that we get it. So I haven't got a response yet, but, because I'm still talking to him about purchasing that property next to us too.
ACAP owns that?
Yeah. They were supposed to use it for Head Start or something.
Last year was pretty good.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we've got all kinds of fun ideas,
Those
we've just got no place to spew them
I'll
on.
send him a message there this weekend to see where it stands. Listen, we need storage, this is coming up.
Because every time we buy equipment, it's getting here, someone borrows it, gets put over there.
I haven't heard too much about it lately though.
Well, we ran out of stuff.
Got nothing left to steal.
Well, cranky, I mean, the school frame in itself needs a lot of them tables and chairs, it's got to go. And I know, once we get this money tree planted, it'll be fabulous. But, we had used to be a speaker set on the wall once. It came back from somebody else's function, it was gone. And then no one chased after.
Yeah, I see that.
That must be ours. Yeah. We sold the room. Have a good evening, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, she's not.
You sit on that with it?
But the interior walls are up, so you can kind of see like where.
Get nice.
Get a visual.
Stands on the chair.
But I mean, still got 3 more months of construction, but they're moving really fast.
It's
And
family.
it's,
Yeah, I know.
isn't it cool?
It is.
Okay, we're back. We're back.
I can give that out, I have it.
Yes.
I have extra copies.
No, I have it.
Nope, and I reviewed the email. Did anyone have any questions regarding the changes?
I do. I have a question. Anywhere in your policies, we're making.
You're saying that's too much.
I have a handout if you'd like it.
If that's the case, we have to do like I'll realign it. And if we do that, we'll make sure it's busy enough. You know what I mean?
Anywhere in your policies, right, do you have anything that states when you make a change like this, that is subject to change for people that have to follow this? Do you know what I mean? Because they can say, well, I had my paperwork in before this change type thing, is why I'm asking.
Okay. Normally, a lot of folks, like you give out, you do notice, and they say that, this is gonna be effective, give me notice that we're gonna start to enforce it 30 days later, or something like that.
So you plan on doing that with us?
Yeah, and plus it's also, we had discussed at the last meeting, about the issue of grandfather. And so, I took that to heart. So it's not, I'm not about trying to,
play games with anybody.
Right.
It is what it is, and so it's like, you know, I just treat people how I would like to be treated. Don't want to be sandbagged or something like that.
Right, right.
So, and there have been some folks that have put in their transfer request before tonight,
Okay.
so they'll be on it.
Okay.
So we
I was
just wait.
just curious, because I know that some policies or out and about, they do have that in their policies, that it is subject to change. You know what I'm saying, that type of thing?
Oh,
To
like
state-
they can be amended?
Yes.
Okay.
At any given time.
I'd have to look through them to see if it has that in there, or it might be actually included in the leases, that the lease has, that you have to abide by the lease, but also the rules and regulations.
Yes.
As they are, or as they can be amended.
Right.
But again, the idea is I'm not going to, if somebody violated a rule prior to the passage of that, I'm not going to do anything. And if they violate the rule after that, it's more just, you know, you try to resolve it first.
Okay.
So.
That's the question I had.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are there any other questions or concerns with the changes?
No, it's just quite straightforward.
Okay, so, we do have to do a motion
Yes.
to approve.
Can I ask one more question? On this, transfer whole scenario, is there a time limit that they're allowed to apply for it? Within these both programs that you have listed under?
No.
How long you have to be living somewhere?
Well, I mean, that's actually a good idea too. You know, maybe you say you want the person to be living there for at least a year before they're eligible for a transfer. I don't have that in there now.
That's the question.
But I mean, it's possible that you might want to consider doing that, but we don't do like a huge amount. Like the transfer list hasn't really had a lot of problems with it as it existed.
Right.
I mean, this other one is the first time where it's, you know, seems, you know, maybe being abused or whatever, subjective, I guess.
Yeah.
But, so it's like, usually if I don't run into problems, that's where, but if it's working, it's like, why fix it? It's not broken, right?
Right. And this will alleviate any further
Right.
misunderstanding.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Any other discussion? Questions, comments?
I think that statement that Sheila was saying about subject to change, that should be in there somewhere.
Okay.
Whether it be the lease or the.
I can work on that and come back to you for that as well. First of all, review them to make sure that it's not already there in some place. If it's in the lease, I can still make it in part of the policies. I can bring that back to you. Okay.
That sounds good.
And as a suggestion, Craig, when I did rental units, we did have that in our lease, that you abide by the housing policy, and at any time the policies are changed, you will be notified within 30 days. I know January is here, and lease renewals is in the works, right?
Yes, they're already signing.
So what I would suggest is that maybe when Tasha does them, hand out the change, the amended change, and just make note to let people know when they come in. You know, if there was a change to policy, here are the changes.
Well, I'll do a handout with lease renewals. And then if she's already done a couple of them, we'll send them out to those folks.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the changes.
I'll do it just as it is.
Just as it is.
And then what I usually do is I'll put a footnote. So where that red is at, I'll put an asterisk, and then I'll put a footnote that it was approved at this council meeting.
Right. Perfect.
Awesome.
Okay. Any other questions or concerns? Shall we have a motion?
I make a motion that we accept the request to amend the transfer policy.
Motion on the floor. Second by Sheila. All in favor?
Right.
Opposed, abstentions? Motion carried.
Okay.
Thank you, Craig.
Okay. So my second, thing, dealing with staff performance, but because it's a personnel issue, I think we have to go into executive session.
Yep.
So,
We can do that. Yep. Okay.
If we can let the community know.
Yeah, let us make that motion first.
If the community can hear, we are going to go into executive session in order to discuss some personnel matters.
I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session.
Motion on the floor, second by Sheila. All in favor?
Beaches all line up.
Abstentions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
You.